During the late 1940s, the United States was in the midst of segregation. According to Thomas Jefferson, all men are created equal. Our country sure wasn't living up to that standard during this time. A black person couldn't even drink out of the same water fountain, let alone attend the same public schools as a white person. Something had to change. Segregation was also prominent in sports. Instead of playing Major League Baseball with other talented athletes to showcase their skills, these men played for the Pittsburgh Crawfords, one of the many Negro baseball teams of the time. Something had to change. Meet Wally Triplett. Born Wallace Triplett in Lamont, Pennsylvania on April 18, 1926, he saw firsthand the effects of segregation in the United States. You see, Wally was an excellent football player. No one could catch him, and he was as shifty as lightning. In fact, he was so good that the University of Miami offered him a full athletic scholarship to attend their school and play football. Wally was excited, but quickly realized it was too good to be true. As soon as the University of Miami found out he was black, they rescinded his scholarship offer. He immediately got another offer from Penn State University. He promptly accepted and became a Nittany Lion in the fall of 1945. In 1946, along with his friend Dennis, Wally was one of the first African American players to make the starting roster for Penn State's football team. That year, the team was scheduled to play a game at the University of Miami, the very same school that rescinded their scholarship offer to Wally. University officials from Miami contacted Penn State and told them that the only way they could come and play is if they left their black players behind. That very night, the Penn State team captains held an urgent meeting to discuss what they were going to do. In the end, they made a team decision that the only way they were going to go to Miami and play was if they could bring their entire team, including Wally and Dennis. That night, a motto was born: "We are Penn State." The team felt that they weren't a complete team without Wally and Dennis. Penn State held their ground and forfeited the game against the University of Miami. This was bigger than football. The next football season, Penn State went undefeated and played Southern Methodist University in the Cotton Bowl, which took place in Dallas, Texas. They faced some resistance when their opponents found out that Wally and Dennis were black. In the final minutes of the contest, Penn State tied the game with a touchdown by Wally Triplett. The game ended in a 13-13 tie. This was bigger than football. They were Penn State. In 1949, Wally became the first African American to be drafted by the National Football League and actively play. He played several years for the Detroit Lions and then with the Chicago Cardinals. Today, his picture is enshrined in the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. What he did was bigger than football. Wally inspired change in a time when it was desperately needed in this country. After Wally Triplett, there were many other prolific African American athletes that broke down the barriers of segregation in this country, as well as many other inspirational figures and leaders that ignited the civil rights movement. Wally's legacy lives on despite his death on November 18, 2018. Every time a child steps foot on the playing field and gets an equal chance to compete against his peers, Wally is remembered. Every time spectators of all colors, backgrounds, and communities come together to watch a football game, Wally is remembered.
Still, to this very day, the "We Are Penn State" motto is prevalent in more places than just Happy Valley. But it has taken on new meanings. We still live in a place where politics, racism, prejudice, and other things can divide people. Wally Triplett and the entire 1947 Penn State football team reminds us that we all are humans, and that we all are individuals, and that we all have the same rights. We are
Penn State!
We are
Penn State!
We are
Penn State!
Thank you.
You're